Welcome to Talk Birdie To Me. This is Australia's most popular golf podcast with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn, the only player to beat Tiger Woods twice in match play, and tour pro Mark Allen, who played professional golf around the world for 15 years, including a British Open. We're coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy is the #1 shoe and glove in golf. And thanks to our great partners, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world. Download from the App Store or Google Play. Ping, as with Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. See your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now that's better. Now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talk Birdie To Me. Here's Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
I reckon they are going to announce where the Australian Open is about 2 seconds after this podcast drops. That's my feeling. Now, it's our understanding that it will probably be announced soon, if not right before.
Hopefully this week.
Yeah, hopefully this week.
Hopefully this week.
Hopefully this week.
Yeah.
And it is our understanding it will be at Royal Melbourne. It is our understanding that Rory McIlroy will be playing.
I was actually out at Royal Melbourne earlier this week doing an outing.
Yeah. What were you doing?
I was. It was Jealous Craig, the real estate company. I was on the 5th hole, the par 3 on the west.
Almost the best par 3 in the world.
My favourite par 3 in Australia.
Yeah.
And every group came through, and I hit a shot for everyone. It
What was your closest?
Fantastic. I had a hole in one, Mark.
Oh, you did not! You did not!
I did.
That counts.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't.
You know why?
I had about 25 cracks at it.
Do you know why?
It doesn't count.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because a 1 goes on the scorecard, so it does count.
Well, so this is what happened. Every group that came through, they're playing their own ball, and I said, guys, we're just going to make this first shot is an Ambrose, so we're going to take the closest, and then we putt from there.
Right.
So they all had 1 on their card.
That's unreal.
And they took the best 2 scores. 2 guys had a shot at 1 for 5 points. So it was brilliant. So.
I give it to you because I always said if a 1 goes down on a scorecard, I don't care what's going on.
Yeah.
That's a hole in 1.
Well,
Yeah, that's another one.
Okay.
That's 2 in how long?
I can't claim that.
You've
one.
got to claim it.
I just can't. Anyway, but
What'd you hit?
that was a little 7-iron.
Did you flush it?
Cup
Was it
7-iron.
a
Yeah,
bit
a little
dodgy?
little baby fade, but it kind of went up. They had a tough pin, that back left section.
That's
So
what they always put it on those
Really
days.
tough to get it in there, that corner. So I had a
what'd you-
little cut, and it went up the back and then rolled across, and it dribbled in. It wasn't my best shot of the day, but
And what did your
anyway,
playing part
they
of the
went
group?
nuts.
They would have
They
gone
high-fived, and
crazy.
A couple of them had never seen a hole in one before, so it was absolutely brilliant. But I will say this:
That's great.
The golf course, the greens are in tournament condition right now. It was like rock hard. I mean,
Yeah.
if you didn't land it 5 paces on the front of that 5th, it was over the back.
So
It was
cricket
over
pitch,
the back.
as hard as a cricket pitch?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the course looked fantastic. The only issue they got, as we know, is the
Fringes.
The fringes, the fescue.
Yeah,
where
the-
they had a bit
the
of an issue
fescue
with
fringes,
that. So I'm hearing different reports that it'll be fine in a couple of months, but who knows?
Well, I played there a little while ago. The fringes weren't in a healthy state at all. But if anyone can get it going, it is Royal Melbourne. Now, it's my understanding too that a bit like the Cooch Farms and all the other grasses that are trucked into golf courses, apparently there's no fescue farm.
That's an issue then.
Which is a bit of an issue. So maybe it's got to be seeded. Maybe things they've got to be a little bit
I don't
done
know.
differently to get it up and going. You would think if you are seeding those fringes that they're going to have to be roped off for a period of time.
Yeah.
You can't have people walking all over the seeds and buggies being dragged all over the seedlings. That
Well,
can't happen.
Again, a couple of the people were members at Royal Melbourne that came through, and they said, no, it'll be fine in a few months max. So
Yeah.
if that's the case, well then perfect. We're set for the Australian Open at the end of the year.
Well, that's exciting.
If I'm really hoping it's at the Composite anyway. So
Well,
and if Rory McIlroy is sort of saying, these sorts of things. By the way, nice job on the news the other day. That was great.
Yeah, it was good. And it was nice to have Talk Birdie To Me host too underneath. So thank you to Channel 7. That was really good. Thank you to Ross and John at 3AW because they're the ones who put it on the rumour file. I just followed up with a phone call and Ross was generous and told me who his source was, which never really happens when this sort of stuff is happening. But I begged, and he folded like a deck of cards, and which was really good. And the bloke who gave him that information will never tell. You're safe with us. Although we do want other information, because it's hard for us to get information.
I don't even know who it is. So you haven't told me.
I'm not telling anybody. Now, what's got to be announced next is who accompanies Rory McIlroy. So it would be great for Rory to come down, but if he's just playing the guys from Australia, that's kind of, it's still good, but wouldn't it be great if, some of the big name live players make an effort to pop down again?
I think, as I said last week, if they announce Royal Melbourne Composite, everyone's ears will prick up, and hopefully, we had our top 5 realistic international players that may come along. I think they're a good chance.
So the other thing that's got to be announced as well is the date. So, in the papers and certainly in the Herald Sun, and if you don't know what the Herald Sun is the highest selling newspaper in Australia. And it's a newspaper that's in Melbourne. The Herald Sun went with the story on Saturday. Mick Warner wrote that story, and he said that the date was going to be late November or December. Now, it might be interesting to see what they do with the date, because if they are trying to attract some of the American live players, it's in their best interests that they don't miss Thanksgiving in America, which is the normal date for the Australian Open, and it's one of the big headaches. I mean, I remember back in 1991, the Steve Elkington Australian Open victory, which was 1992. Why did Greg Norman not come down, Nick? Can you remember? I can remember.
Probably Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving, yeah.
Jason Day, typically that's the issue for
yeah.
him with his family as well. And it's a big holiday over there in the States.
It's bigger than
almost
Christmas.
Bigger than Christmas.
It's bigger than Christmas. And you've lived there for a long time. It is actually when families are more likely to travel from all over the country to be with each other is Thanksgiving. So it's been a headache, not for a short period of time. It's been a headache for the Australian Open since 1992 when Greg Norman said, listen, I've got an American family. I come every single year. I'm not coming this year. And Steve Elkington still probably gives him a Christmas card because he used to win them all the time back in the early 90s, but Steve Elkington won it that year.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be something if we get someone like a Sepp Straka to come down and play how was that win, by the way?
Oh, that was enormous.
Mark, so just to be really clear here, so what you're saying is your mail is that it will be announced today or this week that it's Royal Melbourne Composite and Rory's coming.
That's right. And, look, there might be some other things they've got to tidy up along the way. So, look, if it's not announced this week, it'll be announced pretty soon.
Yeah.
Which is great.